Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, where in today's episode we are going to be talking on how to mend our hearts. Mending our hearts because of a breakup, mending our hearts because of the potential of a relationship that we have in our minds that we want to experience, but we haven't had a chance to experience yet. So the pain of not having that yet and it being so alive inside of us, perhaps having to mend our heart because you feel your pain through friendships or through your work relationships. Most of the time, we do feel our pain body, like Eckhart Tolle says. And as per the book Attached, and also the book Brainstorm, and the book Keeping the Love That You Find, the romantic natured relationships are the ones that tend to usually, if not always or most always, or like almost all of our pain bodies, they're the ones to reflect them back to us. This is Anna Morvidis from Mending Counseling, and the inspiration actually of my channel and my counseling business, which is called Mending Counseling, is because of my desire and need to mend my own heart and my anxious attachment style, because I was so sick and tired of finding myself in these repeat cycles where I constantly would experience abandonment, rejection, my not good enoughness, that I'm a bad person. Oh, I had so many negative core beliefs. So before realizing that core beliefs through all of my studies as now a student clinical counselor in the therapeutic professional world, core beliefs are essentially like our hard drive, right? We're like a computer. Every morning that we wake up, automatically 95% of our nervous system is autonomic and subconscious. It just kicks in and it just starts to produce. A lot of the times we don't pay attention to our thoughts, but we always carry a feeling. And now through cognitive behavioral therapy, we know that thoughts produce emotions, emotions produce feelings, and then our actions. So if you don't pay attention to your thoughts, you're going to know what your thoughts are by the way that you feel. Do you feel in the morning like you want to drag your feet through the day? Do you feel sad? Do you feel angry, frustrated? Or do you feel hopeful and joyful? And what do you feel? And then pay attention to what the predeceding thoughts that produce those feelings are. And because of our emotions, not only do they lead to our behavior, so say if you feel sad, you might say no to a party that would serve you best to say yes, or you might not apply for a job because you don't think you're good enough, or you don't feel settled perhaps in a connection that you have with someone, or a connection that you want to start with someone, and maybe you check your phone all the time or are sad because no one likes you or no one loves you. Why can't anyone love me? Why aren't things working out for me? Like, there's so many various ways of feeling our childhood pain. And the truth of the matter is, and this is all based on books like Brainstorm and Attached, Keeping the Love That You Find. These are actual statistics. About half of the percentage of human beings walk around planet Earth without a secure attachment style. Actually, I think it's even more. I think only 40% of people, if I remember my stats correctly, have a secure attachment style, which means that you have a positive sense of self for yourself and a positive sense of self for others. The anxiously attached individuals, they have a negative self-view and a positive sense of self for others. The avoidant attachment style has a positive view of self, but a negative self-view of others. And then the disorganized has a negative self-view of self and a negative self-view of others. So that's one of the most challenging ones. But the avoidant one, which has a positive self-view of self and not of others, will always bring in and anxious because the anxious has a negative self-view and a positive self-view of others. So then they have to learn from each other. So the anxious needs to learn from the avoidant that they need to increase their self-view, increase your confidence, your core beliefs, like all that stuff. And then the avoidant has to start to learn to value the other person and see their positive self-view. These two are like magnets for each other. And that's why a lot of the times we do feel the pain of like, why can't anyone love me? The avoidant wouldn't feel that. The anxiously attached individual would feel things such as, why can anyone love me? Why am I always left behind? Why am I not cherished? Why am I not chosen? The avoidant actually feels overwhelmed by the need for connection and want to avoid it. So their thoughts is like, I'm giving you everything and nothing is enough for you and you're trying to control me and I don't want to be controlled. Like, it's completely different dynamic. So they think that they're like in the right, and they think that the person that they're dating is not in the right. So they think that they're good and the other person has to fix themselves, but they're not realizing, the avoidants are not realizing that they're perpetuating this endless cycle of the anxious person coming in and needing what they can't give, but they literally can't give it. So this is the difference between an anxiously attached individual, which was me, like I had an anxious attachment style, which I've now have turned into a secure attachment style. I'm so grateful because I experienced life way different. So if someone was to ask me out, ask me out or I ask out, although these days I would prefer someone to ask me out because I no longer want to chase. I'm no longer looking for someone. If you want to find me, great, come and find me. If you don't have any interest or desire, I will never chase another person ever again, because I'm also not chasing my mother's love or my dad's attention and affection that I never received as a child, because I have reparented myself. This book, How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LaPera, talks all about reparenting. So this book, it says, recognize your patterns, heal from your past, and create yourself. This is all about how to do the work, because people very often will ask me that I work with, or even friends, like, once you realize and you have awareness of the cycles that you have in your life, bound to be rejected, not cherished, like feeling your unworthiness, like not being chosen. Did I already say that? Perhaps feeling that you don't matter. These types of core beliefs run your patterns, and they are based from your past. And that's why she says, recognize your patterns, heal from your past, and create yourself, essentially your new self. And you reparent yourself by doing the work, like affirmations and talking to your inner child and healing everything from your childhood. This is a really good book for that. And How to Do the Work, this book talks about talking to your inner child. So this is a great way to talk to your inner child. This book also talks about beliefs, like what is your belief system? I do have a video on core beliefs. I always talk about core beliefs, recognizing what are your core beliefs. If you feel like you don't know what your core beliefs are, I'm going to attach the video again below. But also, this is a great book to realize what your beliefs are. This is a question and answer book. This is another one by Louise Hay, Love Yourself, Heal Your Life. It just talks about what is your views on masculinity or femininity, on men and women. What do you believe that you deserve? Like all these things. It's surprising the negativity sometimes that lives within us, and how little we think that we deserve, and what our view of, say for my example, like my view of men were like that. They're not supportive. They don't show up for me. They don't cherish me. They always leave me. Obviously that view has changed now because I've done the work and I don't think that anymore. But yeah, so the belief system. A negative belief, if you believe it enough, it becomes true. A positive belief, if you believe it enough, it becomes true. We get to choose. What beliefs do you want to have? I understand that when we were children, we had no control over what we acquired. Children are in the theta wave state up until 7 years of age, I think. So that's the theta wave state is the dreamlike phase, or the phase where like kids use, or like they don't even use, it's just there for them, available all the time, like to tap into. They use that to do imaginatory play. They're always in that theta wave state, and they're super susceptible to absorbing the world around them. And a lot of the times too, when we fall asleep as adults and when we wake up, like we go, I think it's from the beta state to the theta state. So that little part between like you're sleeping and you go into being fully awake, that little part in the morning is really important for you to play with your consciousness a bit and see what's there, and really like do the work to start your day in the way that serves you the most. I am looking so forward to the day today. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always happening for me. It's not happening to me, it's happening for me. I wasn't rejected, I was protected. I am redirected, not rejected. We don't know what's best for us. The power that runs like the universe, the seasons, has the flowers bloom, like photosynthesis, like our body. Like think about what our body does, the lymphatic system, the digestive system. Like no one has to think about doing this. It just does it. Same with the unfolding of our life. It happens through our consciousness. So if our consciousness then is really the experience of our world, what is in our consciousness, right? Like what are our thoughts? What are our cognitive beliefs, cognitive behavioral therapy? And then by repeating the complete opposite, that's what cognitive behavioral therapy is. You create new neurological pathways to emit new transmitters, right? Like you have like these nerves in your body. They literally look like this. It's like it's called a dendron. And then it goes into like a synapse. So it looks kind of like a tree. So it's like one arm that branches into many little nerve endings. And then all these release neurotransmitters. So if your nervous system says things like, no one loves me, no one cares about me, I'm not good enough, life sucks, nothing's ever working out for me, why is everything so hard, why does everyone leave me, da 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 da, you're going to be releasing not very good neurotransmitters, and you're not going to be feeling good. But if you start off the day like everything is always working out for me, I am always protected, I am redirected, this is what I learned from the situation. I learned that I need to increase my self-worth. I learned that I don't have enough boundaries. Thank you for showing me that I still think and feel that I don't matter. Thank you for showing me that I still need to work on my fear of rejection. And then gratitude is the best way to raise your vibration, so you can raise your frequency, your energetic like standpoint of who you are, so you can bring in more experiences that match that new frequency. So gratitude, transmute all that anger and frustration into gratitude. Thank you so much to that person who like essentially broke your heart, but they're actually mending your heart. They're helping you mend your heart. My heart did not get mended by people coming into my life and being so wonderful. They were showing me all the time my unworthiness, my lack of self-confidence, my lack of boundaries, my people-pleasing habits. I had so much to do. And I remember like the first time that I saw a counselor and she gave me this huge list, like work on your self-worth, learn about boundaries, create boundaries, affirmations. Like it was so much. I was like, wow. But I had to do the work, and I took like little notes because I don't forget, like boundaries, reparenting, inner child, beliefs, like core beliefs. All of that is in this book, exactly what my counselor had said to me in the beginning. And then I started to do the work. And another book that I used was The Magic. This is all about gratitude, and I want to show you why gratitude works really well. Because if you look at the map of consciousness, right, everything is energy, energy is everything. Gratitude, oh, I can't see without my glasses, is acceptance, gratitude is up in the 350, 400 hertz, as opposed to feeling guilt and shame, anger. Look where anger is. Anger is at 150. Desire is at 125, because desire is like something like, oh, I desire this, I desire that. It's like, I don't have that. It's like from a place of lack. So then the emotions, the predominant emotions of someone who essentially like lives in anger is hate. And then the life view is antagonistic, as opposed to someone who is in gratitude, then, and like willingness to accept what is, then the predominant emotion is understanding, forgiveness, optimism, and the life view is benign, meaningful, harmonious. And this is why gratitude really works, because it raises your frequency. Because if you're at 94.3 and the other person is at 97.6 and you want the 97.6, you need to become 97.6. Like, you need to give yourself the things that you are looking from someone else, because we date who we are, not who we want. And who are we? We are the product of our environment from our childhood. And statistics show that only half of us approximately have a positive self-view in all areas. So then what's the point of having a positive self-view and a positive self-view of others? Then the other person doesn't become like the jerk or the mean one or the one that we project everything onto. The idea that someone represents for us that could potentially give ourselves what they have been thirsty for all these years, and to really balance out our nervous system because we did not develop a secure attachment style as a child. It's the idea of the person, because how do we really love someone? Oh, I love him so much. Like, I really want him in my life. I can't live without him. I was that person, but what do I know about this person? So you see that person and sparks fly. That's actually my inner child, really excited and trauma bonding to their inner child, because they're also as, sorry for a lack of words to say, screwed up, or like trauma bonded, or like trauma, like they have the same equal amount of trauma as I have inside of myself, and then we bond to each other. Otherwise, by the law of attraction and Newton's law of energy, like attracts like, that just wouldn't happen. So we bring in who we are. So if we are confident, we feel worthy, we know that we are always going to be cherished. And if we're not chosen, that means nothing about us. We don't give it meaning that, why can anyone love me? It must be me. What's wrong with me? I need to change. A securely attached individual would give meaning to that in a very different way. They would be like, oh, that's too bad. I really thought he was really cute, or she was really great. That's too bad we didn't get a chance to get to know each other. But they know that somebody else is going to come in, because somebody else always comes in. We just have to make the room for that. Like, we're never going to be without anything or anyone. Like, we never have to fear, am I going to find another friend, another job, another lover? They are always going to come into our life, because that's just the way that life works, like the law of attraction. Gravity works at 9.81 meters per square second all day, every day. So does the law of attraction. So we just keep bringing in experiences. But until we're ready, we're going to keep bringing in people that are showing us where we are vibrationally. So then I think it's David you're something. He is a spiritual teacher, and they all say the same thing too. Everything is always happening for you. Even this book, Why Me, Why This, Why Now? It's always happening for you, even the most traumatic experience. So if you can take that experience and say, what did I learn from this? And give it gratitude. I learned that I don't matter. So what's the gift in that? You need to do the work to make sure that you matter, and then look into your own life and see, where are you like not applying that you matter into your own life? Do you say yes when you want to say no? Are you in a job that's not serving you? Like, where are you actually doing that for yourself as well? And that's part of the creating boundaries, right? Like having solid boundaries that this is not what I want to experience, and knowing that if something is not aligned with your boundaries and or just boundaries, then you know that you don't have to bend your boundaries in order for you to be happy or to have that, because there's going to be something else that is in alignment with your boundaries. And we do get tested all the time by the universe. They will test us. Like, are you ready? Have you learned your lesson? And how do you, so they'll bring us someone to reflect like the old feelings, but how do we deal with that now? Do we get sad? Do we get down on ourselves? Do we make that still mean that it's us? Or are we in gratitude for that experience? And how are we with a person? Are we mad at them? Or do we say our gratitude to them and thank them for everything that they taught us? Thank them for essentially even like leaving us because they are making room for more. Thank them for, or thank the universe for like removing them from your life because they were not right anyways. Like if they're breadcrumbing you or making you feel like, I don't know how to say it, like fully, like they're fully committed and they show up and they give and they make you feel like seen and heard and validated. And there's emotional intelligence. This book talks a lot about emotional intelligence, how to do the work. Because an emotionally intelligent person would perceive a relationship conflict in this matter. They would say, interesting. Like for me, for example, if my partner is talking to me and I start to feel, oh yeah, this is a great example. I felt dismissed the other day. An emotionally intelligent person now will look into that feeling and be like, okay, that's interesting. I felt dismissed. Where in my life am I dismissing myself? And then I think about that. And then if there's something that pops up, then I will change that. And then I'll talk to my partner and say, hey, you know, when I was talking to you about this new show that I was watching on Netflix, and then instead of responding to me, you just walked away. I'm just curious, like, what was happening for you in that moment? And this is exactly how our conversations go. So now my partner has a chance to respond as opposed to reacting, because maybe old Anna would be like, you never listen to me, like you're so rude. Because that dismissive feeling, it's yucky. I hate it. And I can't believe that I still feel it. But I also know that I've done so much work around me now that if I was dismissed all the time, that person wouldn't even be able to enter my field of vibration. They will just have to naturally fall away because I can't even. I'd rather just be by myself, which is another thing to conquer, like being by ourselves and being okay with who we are and bringing back all of the lost missing pieces from our childhood. And we do the work to create like the puzzle of who you truly were meant to be, like your puzzle of self, like coming back home. Then we don't really need anyone, but we do quote unquote need people to show us where we are and what we need to heal. So we give them gratitude for that. And I know sometimes people might say, but Anna, like they were so mean to me, or they were such a, I don't want to say this word out loud, but you have to know that you brought that person in. right? Maybe they were the creating your mother or father. Like something is happening there. There is a pattern. Like all the books say the same thing. So essentially, we can't blame that person. And it's not about blaming ourselves other. There's actually nobody to blame. It's just knowing that everything happens for a reason. Everyone is showing us something. We're always protected. Everything is happening for us. We're redirected, not rejected. We're being shown what we need to be shown. And if we just open up our eyes to that, instead of feeling sorry for ourselves, but like feeling gratitude for what that person showed us that we needed to heal in order for us to elevate our frequency and make room for what is really serving us, then you can't like lose in the game of life. Like this is how you win life, right? Your game of consciousness, the game of our consciousness creating our reality. This is it. Your consciousness is like completely dependent on you and your thoughts. And gratitude is the best way to raise that consciousness so you can just bring in more. I feel like I'm going to stop my video right here. I've been talking for 26 minutes and I know there's so much that I'm trying to just like compact in 26 minutes. But I hope that I was able to give like the gist of what happens in these connections and why we feel pain and we feel like our heart needs to be mended. But it is completely up to us to mend our heart, and it serves us best to give all those people gratitude. Just write it out. I'm so grateful for you. I know it feels maybe counterproductive or not like something that you want to do initially. But let me tell you, there is a chapter in this book that heals relationships that have quote unquote hurt us, even though we bring these people in, right? To show us, like we bring them in. So it's not that they're doing something to us, but we have to recognize that they are a part of our story and they have a purpose. So they're not being mean or like they're not hurting us for no reason. The hurt is already existing from within us from our childhood. And it's not even to blame our parents. Like this is intergenerational patterns. And this is a time that we're now changing them because our parents had probably even a worse of an example of being raised. Like that's how it works. You learn and you see from your parents. You think that that's normal. It becomes your behavioral pattern. And then you just repeat it until you become aware of it and then you break it. Same with this book, Mirror Work. There is a chapter in here, maybe even two, that is all about forgiving self, forgiving others, and healing relationships that have hurt us, even ourselves hurting us. So there's no one to blame. Everything is happening for a reason. Everything's exactly where it's meant to be. And when you have that belief, then everything is where it's supposed to be and nothing is out of alignment. And therefore you're grateful for everything that's happening because we're not wishing for anything different. Because divine knows. It knows. We just have to go with the path of least resistance. And that's what the path of least resistance is. Allow what is. Give gratitude for the lessons. Transmute the pain and the hurt into joy. Raise your frequency. And be excited for what's coming because it's always going to be coming. I swear to you, it's always going to be coming and it's outstanding. The things that happen to us once we just let go of any expectations or attachments to a person, a situation, a country, a job, and just let go. Stay grateful. Wake up every morning. Thank you for the wonderful news today. I'm so excited to start my day. I love myself. I love all the people that have hurt me. I know it sounds ridiculous, but like it's the best way to be. It's the best way to be. Thank you so much. If you liked anything about this video, give it a thumbs up. Whether you're listening on a podcast or watching it on YouTube, I really, really, really appreciate you. It's the end of December of 2025. Let's start off 2026 with a new sense of self. Let's do the work so we can bring in the most amazing experiences for ourselves because now as adults, we are in full control. And I'm wishing you the most blessed of New Year's Eves and just all the blessings in general. Like, may we make so much room for all of it to come in and find us. And again, with all my love and gratitude, I will see you next year.